Thank you for watching, liking, commenting, sharing, and subscribing right now. About an hour or so ago, Lenny, also known as Wireless Packet in our chat room, asked me about what I did at home in terms of coffee. Now, Lenny, is there a reason you asked this?
Yeah, it's actually getting a tad expensive driving out to Starbucks every day or so to buy my coffee, so...
Now, that's your problem. You're going to Starbucks. Starbucks is to good coffee as McDonald's is to good hamburgers. I mean, they're just... Oh, forget about it. So, what I told Lenny is...
We don't have Peet's around here.
Well, but you can order Peet's online, and this is not a commercial for them as much as I'm using Peet's, because I love Peet's. I'm very passionate about their brand. So, what I'm doing here is I'm walking through the workflow. This is why you'll understand why I'm going back and forth in just a second. I've got Peet's coffee, and I'm making it in a French press. This is the best coffee you'll ever make at home, and probably the cheapest, too. French presses are very cheap. And right now I'm checking the temperature on my water. It's not quite at a boil. I typically heat my water in a Cuisinart. This is it's a teapot, but it actually sits on top of an electric plate, heats up that way. You never bring your water to a boil. The best temperature for coffee and water is right around 203, 204. Some people, go up and down by a couple degrees, but that's what I've discovered gives the best flavor. Of course, this is Major Dickinson's blend from Peet's, one of the best blends that you can make at home, at least as far as Peet's is concerned. But again, this coffee was specifically ground for a French press, so it's a little more coarse. I've got, I don't know, let's see how big this is. I couldn't even tell you how big this particular French press is, but it makes about approximately 5 or 6 cups. I mean, regular cups, of course I drink more than that. But I've got it measured up to about 1 inch, and the rest will be filled with water. And how I measure the temperature of the water, I just have this like thermometer. It sits inside. Of course, now it's going to cool down because I've got it sitting in the air. But it becomes cool to the touch after you take it out of the hot water. Another important thing to keep in mind is that the original temperature of the water needs to be cold. You don't want it ice cold necessarily, but cold water you start out with, and then bring it to 200-ish degrees after that point. Fahrenheit, of course, if you guys work in centigrade or Kelvin. I'm talking Fahrenheit here. I live in the U.S. You don't want to burn your coffee, definitely not. So then you pour it in about halfway, and what I like to do at that point is take a wooden chopstick or something like that, stir it around a bit, okay, and then fill it up the rest of the way. I do use cold filtered water, by the way.
Wow, I could smell it all the way over here.
Yeah, let me tell you, it's good stuff. And then wash that. Put the lid on it. Just set it right on top of it. And then set the timer. Oops. Not the microwave. The timer for 3 minutes. So, 3 minutes later, I will then plunge this top down, essentially squeezing the oils out of the grounds and up into the brew, and then pour it into, this is what I like using. Whoops. I like putting them in paper cups. I find some people like the taste of coffee when it comes out of a paper cup. I happen to be one of them. And then you will also know that I drink my coffee with heavy cream. I think that if you use half and half or non-dairy creamer or milk, you don't get the same flavor out of the coffee. So I've kind of got it down to a rough science in terms of producing this. It was only until recently that I figured everything out, getting the right temperature of the water, getting the right grounds, finding the right blend, getting the timing down, really working with it to try to match the type of flavor I would get when I would go into a Peet's store. So again, Cold filtered water is what I use. You could just use regular cold water from the tap as well. Put it into something that's going to heat up the water. Don't use a microwave to heat up the water, and you're definitely never going to want to reheat coffee in a microwave. Don't make coffee even near the microwave. Get it just below boiling, so right around, if it boils, it's too hot. If you can get it right around 204-ish, you'll be fine. Pour it into the French press. Again, I've got, I don't know, I wish I knew the exact measurement of this particular French press. Unfortunately, all I see on there, it's a Bodum French press. That doesn't mean anything. It was like 20 bucks on sale. I believe it makes 5 or 6 cups of coffee. This is the average size of a French press. I'm not a coffee geek. Go to coffeegeek.com for that. But this is the way I like making it. Pour in the water halfway, stir it around. I use a wooden chopstick. I realized, whoa, you're kind of crazy. You could use anything you want. Then pour in the rest of the water. Don't stomp it down yet. Put the cap on. Set the timer for about 3 minutes. Plunge it down, and then pour it, and then serve it however you want to serve it. I usually let it stand for after it's been poured into a cup, typically another 3 to 5 minutes before I actually take the first sip, so it's had a chance to blend with the cream. So yeah, I know it's a little crazy. That's my particular routine for making coffee at home. It's what I do every day. I definitely recommend Peet's. Again, this is not a blatant commercial for Peet's. Anybody who knows me knows that for the past, 5 or 6 years of my life, this has been the only kind of coffee I could recommend or drink. I've tried everything else. People have sent me their beans. I've bought beans. I bought, expensive beans, and Peet's is it. And Major Dickinson's is a very affordable blend. Okay, so the timer's off. We're done with the timer, and at this point, plunge it down. Now, if you'll know that you have the wrong blend if you're not able to plunge it down. Either the grind is too coarse, or in some cases, if the plunger goes down too easily, or in some cases, then you may not have your grind right. So you should have some resistance, because of course you're pushing water down, pushing the grounds down. And in some cases, if it's too coarse or too thin, the plunger won't go down because it'll get stopped up in the filtering gate there. Yes?
When you go to Peet's, do they make coffee in a French press?
No, they've got a whole complex system that is more expensive than this house, I'm sure. So I've poured it. Now this is what's going to disgust a lot of people. I know it. This is the kind of cream that we have around here, Organic Valley. And lately, the cows have been producing uber fatty cream. I mean, this stuff, the fat is literally like congealing at the top of the lid. Pours out nice and slow. Sorry, I keep like walking out of the frame, but kind of the nature of the beast. Stir it with a. Unfortunately, I didn't rinse the other one off. Stir it around. Get a nice, deep. There we go. I was going to say deep brown, but honestly, I think I like it more light brown than a darker brown. Looks like I got a little overzealous. I may have spilled some grind at the lid. Ponzi likes her because I've got some grounds floating on top. It's going to happen. I mean, you're dealing directly with the grounds. You could try making this stuff at home. I've tried drips of various levels and prices. I've tried vacuum brewers. I don't know what were they called? Like Bodum also had like a vacuum coffee maker. And it was okay, but it was just a pain in the neck to clean. This thing is so easy to clean, dishwasher safe, cheap, so if it breaks, it's easy to replace. But anyway, so now that I've gone into my coffee routine, I'm going to toss it out to the community at large. 2 Ubers in 1 sentence? Oh boy. I'm going to toss it out to the community. If you do drink coffee, what is your routine? What kind of coffee do you like? How do you like your coffee? And if you have not yet become addicted to coffee, well, there's no time like the present. 'Tis the season to drink coffee. Fa la 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 la. And let me tell you, I've tried quitting coffee several times throughout my life. It just hasn't happened yet. So either email me what you think, chris@pirillo.com, leave a follow-up. If you have the opportunity, maybe you could do a video response there on YouTube. I'd love to see who else out there is just as addicted to coffee. Good coffee, though. If you sit there and you tell me you get your coffee from a fast food restaurant, forget it. Forget it. I'm out. Out. That doesn't count at all. I'm sorry. I just don't believe it. Then, of course, you're also welcome to swing by our chat room where you can watch me drinking coffee in the live video feed that we have going 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And we're typically talking tech, although sometimes it swings to the beverage du jour. And coffee for me is always the beverage du jour. The chat room is located at one place and one place alone, live.pirillo.com. We'll see you later.